Sorry about the guy with the leaf blower, but look at, this is Burbank High. And this is all new. It's not new anymore, but it's new to us still. I'll show what the real front of the school used to look like. This is the front. This is the new front. And I'm showing this because it doesn't look the same. But when we used to go here, they were filming a movie called Secret Admirer. And the dude comes out, and he comes out like a window or a door, and he goes that way. For some reason, they make it look like he's going through the school. He actually does a full circle almost all the way around the school. And it's pretty funny, but and they told us while we were there, if you see him filming, just keep doing whatever it is you're doing and keep walking and don't be staring at the cameras and whatever. So this is from Secret Admirer. You're gonna see in a second, he's gonna run down the stairs and he's gonna kick the door open. We'll get back to that in a minute. And now he's actually running from the front of the school. He's running across the front. He's gonna jump down this wall and you'll see that door behind him. We're gonna stop this now. We're gonna go back, and this door right here that he kicks open, he runs down the stairs and kicks open this door. Now technically, if we go over where he jumps down the wall, that's the actual door he ran down the stairs and kicked open in real life. That's the real one. But you know, they just cut this stuff together. Now he's on the full opposite side of the school. And somehow he runs toward those bushes, but then he ends up at the front, which is actually the Glen Oaks side over by the gym. Now later on in this video, you're gonna see me walk by this part. But it's funny how he goes that way to go this way when he could have just went back behind where he was and he'd end up here. There was no reason for him to run around the school like that. So you're going to see him come up these stairs, and he's kind of on the running track in a way. That's the actual running track, like around the infield where the football players are. He's going to hop this fence from this ramp. And I'm going to show this ramp later when I show the ramp and the gate in the front. This is exactly where this part is. Maybe we can go back to this. And then he's gonna go up to the gym stairs. Now where all these chicks are coming out of, that's the gym. And they walk down these stairs where he's gonna meet them at. So then they're gonna walk along Glen Oaks Boulevard in front of the school. And in the background, you could see the Pride with the bulldog on it back there on that building. And then you can see the track and the football field behind them. And then you're gonna see a guy in a red car pull up, and you can see across the street that church, and I'm gonna show that later in this video. And when we were going to school, they told us just keep walking, don't pay attention to the cameras, they blend in. They wanted like the extras in the background for free. Now, as they're walking and all these people in these closer shots, these are all actors by these stairs by the gym. And as they're walking along the sidewalk here, none of these people go to this school. But you'll see in the background, when you look across the street, when the guy pulls up in his car, and you see people across the street, they're sitting on the curb and they're walking. Those are the real students. They're just kind of hanging out in the background. And there's some other shots you can see in the background when this changes angles, where you see the garage doors with the diamonds on them in the back. Those are real students way back there. They're all just kind of hanging out, trying to watch what they're doing over here. But they're blurry, so you can't really tell who's, you know, so you can't really see who they really are. So anyway, here's the new front. Pretty cool. I'm actually gonna try and walk around in a circle and tell some stories. Might actually go up here and take a look real quick in the fence. So this is what I keep telling people. Where we live, schools are just wide open. You could just walk on in the grounds and stuff. You can't do that here. See how high the fence is? I'm surprised they don't have barbed wire up there. They used to have, you know, fences with barbed wire, and they used to have metal detectors. I don't know if they have security that does that. But anyway, this is all completely different. I'm guessing this is some type of quad. I don't know. It looks awesome. This thing actually says it's the auditorium. I don't even remember where the auditorium used to be. Great place for skating though. Check this out. I know you're not allowed to here. They don't have knobs on the rails though. Anyway, we're gonna walk around in a circle. There was a spot over here a long time ago, because the buildings were different, and they were doing one of those teacher strikes, like a student walkout to support the teachers type thing. And there was a building right here. We were all jumping out the window and then just leaving and going home. Well, across the street was the newspaper people taking pictures, and in the front, you know, on the newspaper in the picture was actually Francine Hagman in the window. And she was in the, I don't know if her parents ever saw that. My parents would have killed me. I was right behind her. So like if they would have took the picture one person later, that would have been me. I'd have been in some big trouble, because it's kind of like you're just leaving school. Let's support the teachers, and who knows if that's even like a thing. It's just a thing like kids make up to try and get out of school. I don't know. But it was kind of funny, like everyone just leaves school, and there wasn't only one. We did it multiple times. So this is completely different. It looks nice though. I would love to walk around in there. But it's not like you're walking around your old school and go, oh, I remember these hallways. Here's my locker. I don't know why I had that accent when I said that, but you know, the whole thing's different. So it's like I'd be walking on a whole new thing, not even knowing what I'm looking at. You know, I don't know like if there's stuff in there that's memorabilia from the old school. But I will say this. So when we were going here, this piece of property was empty, and they were thinking about putting a mall there or an IKEA. This is way back in the 80s when they were already talking about that. And when we were going here, this school was already old and falling down. It already needed to be rebuilt. And one of the things they were talking about for this piece of property across the street was also, let's just build a new school across the street, or a temporary school, while we build a new school. And they were doing that already while we were going there. And this is in like the mid 80s. So that's how bad the school was when we went. It was already like, when you walked around the halls and stuff, it had like, you know, cracks in the walls, and you can tell it was like falling apart. And it was old. I don't even know when it was built, like the school we went to, because even the school that we went to was like the second version of the school. It was already like a newer one compared to, I guess you would call it the original one. I know people are going to be like, that looks like a prison. I bet it's a great place to skate. It looks completely different though. Like, I personally can drive by here and not know that this is a school, just because it doesn't look like one anymore. It almost looks like a shopping center or a mall or offices or something like that. I'm actually going to walk around and do a full circle. I'm going to keep this running. So we're approaching Glen Oaks right now. I'm going to say a couple things about Better Off Dead, because I talked about over by Tommy's in one of my clips, and I don't know how I'm going to edit this, if it's just going to be a bunch of clips I upload. But they come up here and they're doing something with the car. I got to look up all the scenes because I don't remember out of my head. But they're coming down here, and there's a part where there's like these nuns crossing the street. It's right here, because there's an actual church right here, and they were coming along this street right here, going in that direction. And this is like where they cross, like right here, because there's an actual church. They probably shoved that in there. Also, when we get up here, I'll look up the street real quick up that way, and you'll see how wide the streets are up there. There's a couple wide ones. That's where they were doing the car racing with the Asian dudes. That's so funny. This used to be the gym, and it looks different, but I'm wondering if they left it a gym. Let's see. It's hard to tell. This is where the gym used to be, where you saw those girls walk out earlier. and then they walked down the stairs. And then what happens, they came out of here and they met that guy, and then they walked up that little ramp and walked out that gate onto Glen Oaks Boulevard in real life. Without signs, I can't tell what I'm looking at. But this used to be the gym. There used to be a walkway that would come up with stairs. You'd go in there for gym, but then there was a gate right here that you would exit the school for lunch, and you can walk down to 7-Eleven for lunch, or go out the backside of the school and go to Tommy's or Taco Bell or McDonald's, and you had enough time to do that. So there is still a gate here. So you know what? This looks like this would have been the actual gate, and they left this here and rebuilt the building. So I'm thinking this is this is part of the old school, this ramp, and then that would have been the gym over there. This is still the same spot the gate would have been in. And in Secret Admirer, you'll see where he's coming around. He does like a whole circle around the school. I don't know why. You don't know that because you're watching the movie. You only know that because you're from here. But he actually does a full circle around the whole school, when in the movie it looks like he's just kind of like leaving school. It's kind of funny. This is also, I came here with Richie during off school hours, but it was like after school, and I was doing a wheelie around the track because the track is a 1/4 mile, and that way I would be able to keep track of how far I was going. I was at like 4 miles or something, and the football coach was in the middle with the team getting pissed off at me. He come chasing after me and wanted me to leave, and I'm like, dude, I ain't bugging nobody, leave me alone. I'm trying to set some records over here, you know, because I used to do like 4 or 5 mile wheelies all over town, which is fun. And it's hard to tell what's left of the old school. I would have just rebuilt the whole thing, but it looks like, you know, some of it's, you know, in the same spots or something like that. But it looks good. I would love to go in there. Just hop the fence. Morning. At least their bus stops have shelters.
What are you gonna do tonight?
Does she really like that guy?
Debbie, I think, likes the idea of going out with older guys.
Yeah, what about you?
Me? Oh, I have no standards. I mean, I'd even go out with you.
Where we live, you just stand by the stick. You're just standing there by like a little sign, and it's dumb because it doesn't even rain here. It rains where we live. So this is one of those streets I was talking about. See up there how wide it is? That's one of the streets they used in like Better Off Dead, where they were racing the cars, where they pull up to each other. It would be like up there. Also up there is where they did Wonder Years. Not on that particular street, but up there is where they did Wonder Years. This might be the church where the nuns came out. I'm not sure. It was either back there or here. I'll have to watch the clip, and I'll see if I can put it in here without getting in trouble. But here's the track, and see the cement things over there? I don't remember if those were some of the old ones or if we just had bleachers. I can't remember any of this stuff. But we used to walk to and from school right here. I'm not one of those people, yeah, we used to walk uphill both ways. But when we lived on Grismer, we were like right down the street. We were really close. When we lived on Lamer, it was a little farther. It's not that big of a deal though. Like, it seems long, when you're a kid, you know, and you're walking home, it takes like 30 minutes or whatever it takes. But then when you look up online, how far is it really? It's only like, you know, a mile or something. We used to walk from 2114 Lamer all the way to Muir. That seemed like a long walk, and it's a little hike. But when you look at reality, I think it's like 2 miles or less. It's not really that far. That's a beautiful car. It's a Beamer. That looks like an i8. It's nice. And it's actually not electric, it's a hybrid. I thought they were electric at first. And if you know me, you know I hate electric vehicles. They don't make no sense. Also, if you're driving, always stay away from the Teslas and the Priuses. They're the worst people. They're the worst drivers. Well, their baseball field needs some work, man. I don't know if it's because it's school's out, baseball's not playing, but it's like, it almost looks like they don't care about their baseball team at all. Like, give them a new spot. It's cool being in Burbank, being able to walk around though. I need to go down, actually need to go down the other way. So I was telling a story the other day. I always tell people I never went to high school, which is half true. I tried. I really tried. I was so busy when I was younger because I was making money. And I was also a bad person. We'd be out late at night, you know, causing trouble all over the valley in the middle of the night. But I started working. I had a job where I was making a lot of money, and I would go home and sleep. You know, I would try and get a couple hours sleep. I would actually walk to school from Grismer. I would walk over to school. When they opened the door, the cafeteria was open. There'd be one lady in there. My jacket had holes in it. So I'd go into the cafeteria. Every day I'd buy a pack of chocolate donuts and a chocolate milk. Every day. You know how people have like their regular routine. While I was doing that, she'd be in the back, you know, doing stuff, and I'd fill my pockets full of other food. But then every day I would simply purchase a chocolate donuts and a chocolate milk. But I would have so much other food to last me throughout the day. But I would come here, do that, hang out with everybody in the cafeteria before school. It'd be Jamie the guy, it was Lisa Nelson, Alan was there, a couple other people were there. We always hung out before school, just hanging out. I would go to my first class, and then I would go home and go sleep all day. And then I would try and come back and do some other classes. I really did try, but I didn't really get anywhere. I was in this one class, and I don't remember the teacher's name. And I always slept in that class. See, they have like a whole parking deck here. And I'm guessing that's for the school. I wonder if that's like, you know, school parking, which would actually kind of cool. Oh, there's tennis courts up on top of there. That's nice, because this used to be the tennis courts right here. And Sherry used to live right here, across the street, Sherry Buhner. And Lowell used to have something written on the sidewalk. I'm not going over there, Lowell, because I know it's been redone ever since and it ain't there no more. So anyway, I was in this one lady's class, and I was always sleeping. And one day after class, she woke me up, because class was over. She woke me up. She's like, "What's your home life like?" I said, "Lady, I make more money than you. I work all night. I work graveyard shift. I'm having such a hard time." And I was like maybe 14-ish. And then the very next day, the same thing happened. I was sleeping in her class, and I woke up and class was gone, and there was no period after that one. There was no class after that one. So I was like, okay, let me get up and go walk the halls. Everybody was already in their next class. I don't know how long I was sleeping for. And that's when I decided I can't go to school. I can't do it. And I walked out and I walked home, and I never went back. I have no GED. I have nothing. I never graduated high school. I tried to go. I always tell people I never went to high school, which is actually true. I tried. I couldn't do it. So I thought I'd tell that story. So if you're somebody who has graduated high school in the past or is about to, that's a huge, huge thing for me, and I congratulate you for doing so. You know, Liz's boy said he just graduated. That's a huge thing. When our kids graduated, that was a major thing in our house, you know. Well, since I'm back, I did my circle. I'm back at the car. And since I'm standing over here, I want to talk about this for a second. So that says Chuck E. Cheese on it. That used to be Zodi's, or this used to be Zodi's. I don't know which way I'm facing. Whichever used to be Kmart used to be Zodi's. But they have this wall right here. Now, when we went to school, you weren't allowed to smoke on campus. You know, you weren't even allowed to smoke right here on the sidewalk. But at the same time, you're not allowed off campus unless it's lunchtime and you have your lunch pass to get off campus. But everybody would sit right there on the wall and smoke all right here during lunch or even during school time. Well, my wife's school, she went to CT, they have a smoking section. It's out in front of the school like it would be right here, but they at least had it for them. You know, they're not condoning minors smoking, but you know, that's why a lot of people went to CT. They got in trouble in regular school for smoking, or that's also where all the pregnant people would go. She went over where all the pregnant chicks were. You know, and a lot of those people weren't necessarily bad kids. They weren't all druggy type people. They went there because they had a different lifestyle, like the girls, all the teenagers, girls that were pregnant, you know, all the people that got caught on campus smoking. So they might have done something bad. That doesn't mean they're dumb or they're bad people, you know, not like what I was doing. But anyway, they would always go over there and smoke. My wife's school had a smoking section. And since I'm talking about Zodi's real quick, I feel bad for them people. Zodi's was awesome. It was like the modern day Walmart, I guess you'd say. I don't know how many people I knew that stole from there, including myself. Everybody stole from there. And I felt so bad for these people because it was so easy to do. And people would be in their house and be like, yeah, check out what I got. It'd be like a pile, just a pile of stuff. And I did the same thing, and I'm not condoning that. Don't do stuff like that. You know, we've repented of stuff like that now. But I just thought I'd say that because I always feel bad for Zodi's now that I'm an adult. I'm like, dang, we stole so much from there. I feel so bad for them people. All right, that was Burbank High, and I am off to the next place.